As you obviously know, we have had a massive event, which was the funeral dedicated to Charlie Kirk in remembrance of Charlie Kirk and all the rest. And it was an enormous event. The numbers are incredible. Now, I know that the whole stadium was full. There were a few 100,000 people in attendance, which actually kind of put myself and my wife we went into a little anxiety mode, to be honest with you, because I'm like, we're going to place a bomb or something. Is it going to be like a shooter? Are there going to be snipers? But then again, luckily, we felt better when we noticed that the president was going to be there and the vice president, because that, of course, leveled up the type of security. I think it was like security threat 1, which is the highest possible. Still, it was one of those situations. But anyways, luckily nothing happened. Now, it was very long. I didn't watch the entire thing, but I did watch a big chunk of it. And sometimes I just let it play in the background while I was doing my things. I was painting my Warhammer miniatures. I was doing whatever I normally do during the day. And to me, it was a very beautiful event. I watched some of the talks. Some I appreciated. A few were a little meh. But in general, it was a good event. Now, however, the topic today, as you know, is again Destiny. Because seriously, this guy, at this point, like, I always thought he was a sociopath, and I still believe he is. I mean, at the end of the day, do remember that Destiny did say that due to the fact that his parents, I believe, are conservative. I don't know if they're MAGA, but I mean, to him, everyone is MAGA anyways. He did say that if his parents got shot during one of these rallies, Republican rallies, then he wouldn't get. He just wouldn't get. In fact, he even said that would be good for him, so he has to pay less for like elder care, I suppose. So the guy's a sociopath. It's obvious. And the thing is that whether or not you actually believe that what he's saying he actually means, or whether you think that's part of his strategy in order to stay relevant with the algorithm, meaning that he will say crazy shit just because that way people talk about him and then people go and insult him on X and then his posts go viral. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe, but it doesn't matter, because it still is a massive indicator of his absolute lack of any form of compassion, empathy, or anything that makes a human being, humane. Now, we've heard him say a lot of horrible stuff over the years, of course, and even recently, some of his most toxic direct threats and calls to violence been exposed, including on my channel, but a lot of people have been showcasing how much he wants to genocide conservatives on the street, his words. And one of the things that we can say is that he has learned nothing. He has learned nothing in the sense that we know that Charlie Kirk got shot because everyone kept calling him a fascist and a Nazi, and then there was a crazy guy who actually believed that and decided to act upon it. And here he is, the 1st of September, and he's posting this as a response to Turning Point and the event published by the White House as they were talking about the funeral, right? Because, of course, if you have a speaker and a large number of individuals, then that makes you a Nazi, I suppose. It's a Nazi rally, at least in his head. Clearly, we have seen that he laughed and found hilarious the assassination of Charlie Kirk, so obviously that's just how it is. He will laugh and dance on your grave, regardless of whether you be centrist, moderate right-winger, full-on right-winger, alt-right, far-right, hard-right. How many freaking terms do we have? Or whether you be a left-leaning guy at this point. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It does not matter, because the guy has zero human decency, and that's clear. But it's always a new low with him. Always a new low. This Charlie Kirk memorial, in quotations, is indistinguishable from a Nazi rally, and fuck anyone who wants to pretend it's not, he says. Anyone. So it's either you agree with him or fuck you. That's his mentality. That's his mentality. Very different to what I say, right? Because usually what I say on my channel is, whether you agree with me or disagree, you're very welcome here. The only thing I'm asking is please be decent. And I'll be more than happy to go over whatever discussion you want to have a debate. But this is not this guy because he's an extremist. Now look at this one. This is when he decided to continue to make fun of Charlie's death, regardless of the fact that his family is mourning him. He says, I heard when he died, he fed an entire village full of vampires because so much blood came out of his neck. Truly a hero, even in his passing. And the problem is that people engage with these posts. Now look, this post that he did here, Charlie Kirk, by the way, I'm reading them to you, but I'm not clicking anything. Yet it works. His strategy works, because this one got him 36 million views and this one got him 900,000 views. Now, initially I thought he was doing it for the money, because of course, do keep in mind that X pays you every 2 weeks. You get a check. I get it myself. And so more engagement your posts get, particularly from people with a blue tick, the more money you actually make, because then they will be served ads. Now, I believe that he is demonetized on X, though. So let me double check that, because I don't want to spread misinformation. Yeah, so internet does say so. 2024, Kick streamer is also demonetized on X after posting inappropriate content. Steven Destiny Bonnell has been banned from the streaming platform Kick for comments. Yeah, but I think he's back. It must have not been a permaban. His permaban is definitely the one on Twitch because he doesn't stream on Twitch anymore. I've heard recently that he got demonetized on YouTube, but then again, he always does these kind of statements, so you never know if they are true. He does it on purpose once again, so that, in my opinion, if he's still monetized, he's doing it for the money. But if he's not monetized, I think he's doing it to maintain his name, Destiny, in the algorithms. Because if something gets 36 million views, then it's very likely that you will run into it even through other search engines, and that could lead all the way towards his channel. Now, if YouTube also got him demonetized, I guess he's making money now off of Kick, but at this point, I don't even think he even needs money anymore. I mean, with all the lawsuits he's going through, perhaps he still does need money, and I guess 2 ex-wives and the kid, he probably still needs money. I don't know if he has made enough money to not need money anymore. I have no idea. But I can see ways in which this could still benefit him directly or indirectly. But even if he doesn't need the money anymore, this is someone who hates the right wing, all forms of right, and all forms of anyone who disagrees with him, to a point that he would do this just to feed himself with the poison he's addicted to. Okay? So at this point, I honestly think he just does it because he enjoys it, because he's a sociopath. He clearly is a sociopath. I'll give him one thing, though. Guy's got balls. Because here is what he did. As it was shared by Drama Alert. I'm surprised that he shared it. Destiny defends a transgender audience member after an attendee run. He doesn't care about trans, by the way. I don't believe it for a second. Someone who doesn't care about people getting shot, I do not believe it for a second. It's all a move. It's part of his strategy. It's simply because this is what gets clicks, I guess, from the liberal/progressive side. When you defend transgender people. And it's easy to figure it out. Do you think he cares if someone like Blair White gets shot? No, because, yeah, that's transgender, but it's the enemy. It's a right-winger. So this isn't about caring for people who have gender dysphoria. It's about, usually, these people tend to vote left. It's all a strategy. It's all a move on a chessboard. That's what this is. But I'll give him this. After what happened to Charlie Kirk, the fact that now he is going around campuses to talk with, I guess, conservative audience and students takes guts. Now, I want to make this once again 100% clear. I already said that I don't like Destiny. I'll strengthen it. I despise him. However, I do not want to see him shot. I don't want to see him shot. So if anyone on the right wing with a following says, guys, it's time to get one of theirs, then no, I will disagree with you and I will call you out all the same. Because this is not what we do. This is not the right thing to do. I don't want him to get shot in the head. Just like I didn't want Charlie to get shot in the head. That is a base principle of civility. They should be indistinguishable regardless of having crossed political lines. Not that it's something that he would think that what I just said is gay. That's what he would think. That's the kind of terminology he uses. But I don't care what he thinks. I honestly don't. Nor do I care what he thinks about me. Nothing. Yeah, I remember this guy going nuts on him completely. And I do get the feeling, but I guess you're getting rage baited at that point. The guy will say something that he knows will get you enraged, and then he gets his viral clips and his viral shorts. So no, if you do go to one of these events, talk normally. And if he says disgusting stuff, that's your position now. You're in a position of moral advantage, and you lose it if you lose your decor, if you can't control your feelings and your emotions. So if he says something disgusting, answer with reason, logic, facts, and data. And then it will be his enemies that will have the viral clip. That's how it works. The do your own research guy who actually does his own research. Man, it sounds like Freda. I find it insane that someone like this really thinks he's the good guy. They are the good guys. The radical leftists really think they are the good guy. While on the other side, what I saw during the funeral event was a woman forgiving the shooter of her husband, displaying true Christ-like attributes. Now, some of you might think, no, it was performative. She did it on purpose, just so that, I don't know, to get new people into the whatever the hell turning point. But here's the thing, it's not like she needs the money. You do understand that obviously her husband had a life insurance, and I'm pretty sure that they are going to pay that one, whatever company it is. And it's going to be in the millions. It's going to be in the millions. I know that 100%. And again, they will pay it, because if they don't, do you imagine the public outcry if then she comes out and says the company didn't pay 100%? She doesn't need the money anymore. So what would be the reason then to put up a performance? What, because Trump told her to? Well, then she's an incredible actress because it looked real. And trust me, we can never truly know if something is real or true. You can look at some body language, I guess, metrics, and try to figure out, maybe in this case, because of how she put her hands, or maybe how she's moving her eyes around, maybe you can figure out, perhaps there is a higher chance that this was a lie. But if there is one thing we know it's true, is that she lost her husband. And I truly believe that they loved each other. I believe that. I have no reason not to believe that. So a sentence like this would be the hardest sentence to utter, whether you mean it or not. In fact, it's going to be harder to say if you don't mean it, if you actually want him to burn in hell. So I believe her. I trust it. Now, explain to me how, from the point of view of destiny, a woman forgiving her husband's shooter is a Nazi rally. Yeah, typical of Adolf Hitler to forgive his enemies. Absolutely. Yeah. Now, some people were mentioning Trump and the fact that he said that he hates his enemies. I think this is what I'm going to say about this. So there were some people that were saying, hey, we loved it up to that point, but then Trump had to ruin it by basically immediately after she said that she forgives her enemies. Why did he have to say that he hates his enemies? Because if you remember, if you watch the clip, it's when he says, and I know that Charlie's going to be mad at me from above, but I hate my enemies. And then there were some people that were like, yeah, and then there were other people that didn't like that and said it on social media. I'm just going to say this. Trump is a politician. Just like Biden is a politician. Just like Kamala Harris is a politician. Just like Giorgia Meloni in my country is a politician. And politicians speak tactically. Now, I know that everyone, and this happens on the right and the left, everyone thinks they are smarter than people in power. Everyone thinks, like, people on the left will say Trump is an idiot while they think they're so smart. And people on the right will do the same. They're like, oh, Biden is such an idiot. Well, Biden at the end, because of medical situations, was gone. But before, if you listen to Biden, how he was speaking like 10 years ago, guy was sharp. Whether you hate him or not, you can say that. But people still will say, oh, he's an idiot. And then you are the smart one, right? But the thing is that politicians don't act alone. Their speeches are rehearsed. Their speeches are crafted. And this applies to the speeches that you listen to, for instance, once again in the 40s. When you listen to balcony speeches by Benito Mussolini, they are extremely theatrical. And what I think that was, when it comes to Trump, was a tactical choice. Because in the audience, you would have had a split sentiment when it comes to the forgiveness and Christian and Christ-like attitude demonstrated by Erika Kirk. You would have had people that are like, God is great. Amen, and be like really moved by what she did. That would be me. I will be among those. But then there are people that are out for blood now, in the sense that they are angry. And when it comes to the anger, justifiably so. And so they don't want you to forgive the shooter. They want the shooter dead. And so that section of the conservative audience may have not been truly satisfied. They may have not been placated or happy with the forgiveness displayed by Erika Kirk. Therefore, they delivered both. And Trump was the other side. So she was the wonderful spirit that we look up to, right? And Trump was the one that instead was going to satisfy what people say when it comes to the enemies, when it comes to the hateful people on the other side, right? And mind you, I'm one of those who says not every lefty is like this. There's a fuck ton of them, I'm not going to lie. If they tell you just a bunch of liberals, it's just like a couple of radicals, they are lying to you. There's a lot of them, but not every single person who's in the left or even moderately to the left agrees with this. I've got family members who are left-wing and they are disgusted by people celebrating Charlie Kirk's assassination. So let's keep that one in mind. Let's keep it straight. But I think Trump knew that and he tactically moved about it and said, no, I hate my enemies. I hate my enemies. And then there was the other guy who said that the shooter will be injected. At first I thought it was going to be a firing squad, but I remember one of the speakers saying that they're going to do lethal injection. And so they said that he was going to die. Maybe it was Michael Knowles, now that I think about it. And so this way, they catered to both sections of the audience. This is my interpretation of what I saw. I could be wrong. Maybe you're a better analyst than me when it comes to political strategy. You let me know in the comments. But for now, Thank you so much for watching. Bye. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth. Proudly presenting the Pendant of the Noble One. Look at this beauty. Original custom design created by me in collaboration with Viking Jewelry. And it's my way to celebrate all of you, because as you know, I've been calling you Noble Ones for the last 12 years. Well, this is indeed the pendant of you, the Noble Ones, who are the Custos Veritatis, written here in Latin, and it means keeper of truth, because that's the only thing that matters. The truth, whether it offends them or not. So, available in both silver and bronze. I think my favorite is the bronze one, but they're both great. And this can be bought as a set, as we offer the original ring of the Noble One, available in silver, bronze, and gold, the bracelet of the Noble One, Silent Oath of Truth, and a more low-profile version of the ring for those who prefer something a little thinner, which we offer also in bronze, silver, 14-karat gold, and 18-karat gold. Use the code NOBLE1 for a 15% discount at checkout, and massive thanks to each and every single one of you, and thank you to my haters for supporting my work.